Please psychoanalyse people.
Is that like psycho and anal?
No, sorry, what I meant was please psychologically analyse other people and yourself if you can.
So it's like reading someone's mind?
Well, it's something like that. It's more like reading people overall, if you know what I mean.
And why should I be doing that?
It's sort of screening in a way, so we don't end up in bad company. And to be honest, it might affect our health and productivity.
So what am I supposed to look out for when analyzing someone?
When we analyze another person or ourselves, there are a lot of things we can assess, which include things like body language and emotional states.
Does that mean that you can tell if someone's good or someone's bad?
Well, I wouldn't call it good or bad. I would just call it behavioral traits that are positive or negative.
So, for example, if someone is like complaining all the time, that's like a bad thing, right?
Precisely. Everyone complains, even you and I. But if someone is always complaining 90% of the time whenever you meet them, then that person would be burdening you with a lot of negative energy.
Yeah, I can totally understand that. And there's not much to gain from that conversation either. It's pretty exhausting. Let's name a few other traits. I totally don't like people who just keep bragging, like, oh my god.
Yeah, absolutely. These braggarts like to show off because it stems from insecurity or an inner feeling of inferiority, really. I knew a bloke, he was a bright fellow, below average looking, but he liked to show off pictures of himself with other girls he went out with, like he needed to prove something, and he was doing that while being married with 3 kids.
Bragging is quite off-putting, really, and a lot of people find that unattractive, so please don't do that.
Give us a good trait to look out for in other people and ourselves.
I like to look at people's work ethics. I admire diligence. They tend to be a lot more responsible and deliver their promises.
Yes, and the opposite of that is someone who is lazy and unproductive, and you don't want to be around those for obvious reasons. They might be fun to hang out with, but they're not going to be very useful otherwise, I'd imagine.
So if I were to summarize this, you want to stay away from complainers and people who like to boast while
Surrounding yourself with people who are hard-working.
And should I say, joy isn't
So positive.
Yes, generally speaking, though overly positive can be a bad thing too. It is called toxic positivity, and it is when people dismiss the negative emotions of other people instead of hearing them out.
Yeah, that's right. They would respond with words like happiness is a choice or stay positive when someone is expressing their struggles.
Honestly, they're coming from a good place. It's just that they don't know how to empathize. Sometimes people going through a hard time just need a shoulder to cry on.
Well, that's an interesting conversation now, innit? Hope you've enjoyed yourself and we'll see you in the next 3 minutes.